Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to tonight's Mass Construction Live. We're here today with Jim and Sarah, founder of Shawmut Design and Construction, as well as the head of Build Health International. And we're also here with Brian McPherson. Brian's background involves Kiewit Construction, Clark Construction, and a number of years at Suffolk, as well as DCAM. And now he's the executive director at YouthBuild Boston. I say all that because I want everybody to know that's listening that the two gentlemen here are one of us. They've held the jobs that we've held over the years, held in the past, or have held now. And they are at a point in their lives where they've chosen to go a different path and say, hey, how can we use construction as a way to give back to others? So you're going to hear those stories today about what Jim and Brian are currently doing, and I'm very excited about what they're doing, and I'm excited about the opportunity that everybody listening today has. Are we good? Sorry. That everyone listening today has, that both have held those jobs, and now you have held those jobs, and it's a chance for you to kind of give back and help them to reach and serve the people that need it. So today, how we're going to do this. In the comments, there's going to be a time, today we're going to talk about two opportunities. One, a networking opportunity called Brickle that's being put on, sponsored by Brick, a local architecture firm here in Boston that has been kind enough to help sponsor the event, and that is for YouthBuild. So we're going to ask today that you might think about either putting together a pickleball team. That's where the play on words is there for pickleball. Or the other thing is Jim has needs with materials and equipment for hospitals in developing nations. So if you can do either of those two things today, I'm going to ask you to drop them in the comments. Please put your name, your company, and what you'd like to donate. Whether you're donating, you're saying, hey, yep, I'll sign up, I'll go to Brickle, or hey, we can provide doors and frames, whatever it is, please drop them in the comments. And the hope here is we'll get a lot of people activated and motivated and going. So that's what we're looking for today. So before I get started, I do want to say thanks to Focus Forward. Mike and Mike are in the room. If you're here, they're behind the scenes. You can't see them. They made the ride up from Providence and are donating a lot of their time today to help this show happen because they realize it's a good cause. I realize it is a good cause. I just signed up for Brickle as well, so I will see you there. I hope to see everybody else there. And I guess what I'll say is with that is maybe this can be a half little mass construction meetup. We're not going to take over Brian's event, but if we can help fill the room and we can hang out with each other, let's do that at the same time. So that's the hope. Please drop it in the comments. And I think we'll get into it. So before I jump right to Brian, Jim, you told me an interesting thing. You've got a connection to YouthBuild?
Yes. Years ago in the 90s, at the time YouthBuild had just had a program, I think in New York City, in the Bronx, I think it started, and they were thinking about expanding and coming to Boston, and I got connected to the founders of YouthBuild, and Shawmut got behind YouthBuild and got very involved. I was on the board, the initial board, and we really tried to help YouthBuild. It was very hard going for YouthBuild initially. They have done incredibly well, but it's been a long, hard road in terms of breaking in to the mainstream construction community and really being able to provide jobs for qualified grads.
Yeah, a funny thing, we all have a little connection. The other thing is and I was telling this to Brian the other day, when I was at Bovis Lendlease at the time, I applied to YouthBuild in Providence, and they did not hire me. So I attempted to help YouthBuild in the past, but now I'm getting a chance to do that. So I am very excited. I just took a peek. We see Krista, Amber, Stephanie, Emily, Skip. Thanks for all turning out. I'm excited. Hopefully we'll start getting some folks joining us at Brickle soon. So Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about YouthBuild, and then let's talk about what is going to be the Brickle event.
Absolutely. First, I want to say sincerely thank you, Jim, just for all that you have done for YouthBuild Boston, for our community, and for the construction industry. I owe a lot to you. I've heard a lot about you, my first time meeting you, so I really want to take my hat off to you and celebrate you and thank you, so much for all you've done. And Joe, obviously, thank you for bringing us together. So we are so excited, first of all, for this time for YouthBuild. 32 years we've been around in this industry, in this community, building up youth and building up our community. So it's a very exciting time for us. The company's growing, this industry is growing, and we are so fortunate to be here working in the community, building affordable housing, and just building those career paths for our students. We have expanded a little bit about YouthBuild Boston, what we're doing now. We have expanded the different programs that we have. There are 4 of them that we dwell in, and between those 4 programs, we get out about 100. We touch probably about 190 students in any given year. We have a pre-apprenticeship program, which is probably the flagship of our organization, and that program takes that student that knows they want to go into the construction industry, and we take them and we get a career path. Once they've graduated high school, we recruit them, work with them, introduce them to the trades. We have a great relationship with the Carpenters Union and various other unions, and we get them the skills they need as we build affordable housing in our industry and in our community.
And do you mind if I ask you a question, Brian? You said, what do you say, it's about 150 kids you touch each year?
Close to 190 between the 4 programs separately, yeah.
And then going through those programs, how many of those students end up with a job, would you say, percentage-wise?
I'm saying, well, a lot of them are students in high school, the designery program especially. Those are a lot of students that are still in high school. But between those students that are in the BT program, Building Trades Exploration Program, all of the students in the Facilities Maintenance Program, which is a program that we work together with Wynn Residential, all those students are hired full-time. So there's potentially between 40 and 50 students that are coming out of our program on any given year that are matriculating into the trades or a full-time career opportunity with one of our partners.
Yeah, I want to stop and emphasize that, because if you think, I've dealt with a lot of organizations that work really hard and are excited to, hey, we got 3 people jobs that weren't in the market to get jobs, and that was an exciting thing, and they should be excited about that. That's changing 3 people's lives. What has always impressed me with YouthBuild is you're talking every year, 40, 50, 60 people coming into our business. We need those trade folks. I was talking with a business owner in the site work industry, and we were talking about the new equipment that comes out where they have automatic grade control, and I was like, well, and they're saying how expensive it is, but my kind of point to them was, well, yes, it's more expensive, but don't you find the cost savings because you don't have now a laborer shooting grades and stuff? And it's like, it's not even the money that's the problem. He goes, I can't find a laborer. So we have such a tight market. It is such a great industry to have a real career, make a good wage, learn things that you can improve your own home. So the fact that you guys are putting 40, 50, 60 people, young people every year into that's amazing, and I'm thrilled. So I want you to tell me more. I also want to say thanks to Paul McLaughlin, who I saw show up in the comments. Thanks, Paul. So there's the designery, there's the kind of pathway to the apprenticeship program.
Yes, there's the Building Trades Exploration Program. It's a program that is for that student that has not graduated high school and they want to finish their high school credentials. We help them get those credentials, and we expose them to the building trades as well. So that is the 4th program, but it's those 4 programs that make up the foundation of YouthBuild Boston.
Amazing work. Now, how about the Brickle Ball event?
Yes, I want to, first of all, nothing happens at YouthBuild without partnerships. And partnerships is such a big thing of what we do. And we have a very new partner that we're engaged with the team at Brick. They're an architectural firm here in the city of Boston. And we are so very grateful to them for reaching out to us and wanting to partner with us for the Brickle Ball event. So we are excited for this event. First and foremost, it is a networking event. So you said earlier not to invite, you didn't want all the Mass Construction crew there.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to correct that. Yes, we do.
Nice.
We want everyone there. So everyone listening and connected to Mass Construction, we want to see you. We want to meet you. We want to learn more about you. We want you there. We want your face in the place, because this is it's networking first, and obviously if you want to play, I think there's a few spots left, so you definitely can participate in that way and come on out and play some Brickle ball. We now Brickle ball obviously is a play on words, brick being the company and pickleball being the sport. But certainly if there are more players out there that want to come out there and play with us, that opportunity is there. But we want you to come
And hang out and support.
network and support us.
Yeah. So right now I think there's 4 teams left. So if you want to enter a pickleball team, go ahead. If you just want to attend the event, please attend the event. I see Delbrook just chimed in. They're going to be sending a few folks to pickleball. So they're getting the ball started. That's great. And then the rest of it is networking. Like I said, myself and Mike, we're signed up. We're going to be there. Somebody can't sign on. That's their problem. Sorry, Lou. So yeah, it's a great event. Let's use this opportunity. So chime in if you can attend. Also, I didn't say, I'm going to put breaks in here every so often. I'm going to repeat a lot of things because somebody might be coming in on live. So forgive me, folks, if you're hearing this over again. So what we're looking for folks to do, if you will sign up for the program or donate materials or equipment to Build Health, which we'll get into next with Jim, drop your name in the comment, put your name, the company you work for, and what you would like to donate. That could be signing up for Brickleball. That could be donating scaffolding. Put that in there, and we're going to pull 2 winners after the program. One of them is going to be a guest on the Mass Construction Show. It can be yourself. It could be somebody from your company, whatever you want. But I would love to have listeners of this show on and just talk to them about, why do you like the show? Why did you want to support Build Health or YouthBuild Boston? And let's just have a discussion. So I would love to have you on the show. In order to do that, got to donate to get entered to win. So let's talk about who's coming already. This is harder to manage than you think. Interviewing 2 people, keeping the live going, and then doing this all right. Roots Birth Life. I don't know who you are, but thanks for coming. So who signed up for Brickleball already? We have folks from YouthBuild coming, from Brick Architecture coming, WB Engineering, Boston Properties, Cosentini, Tachi, Cabinet Company, Sienna, O'Day Engineers, Garland Building, Vanderweil, BR+A, MIT, ICO Energy, High Profile, Vantage Builders, McPhail. There's a few more on here, but those are the folks that are coming. I'm noticing a lot of architects, engineers, owners, construction companies. There are people, so let's get out there, let's meet with them, and let's support YouthBuild.
I think Jim and I want to see more of Shamit's names on there. We want to see Suffolk Construction on there. So we want to challenge you guys, if you're listening, to sign up or at least participate. We definitely want to see your face in the place.
Awesome. Omar, Building Health, you're here. Sean Harrington from DPR, we would love to see you there. You've been a big player in the marketplace recently. You've been doing a lot of healthcare. A lot of life science, getting market share there. Let's come be part of this and let's support YouthBuild. So Sean Harrington, help me out. You and a friend, come on down. Jim, on to Build Health. Tell us a little bit about Build Health first, and then we're going to talk about what the needs are at Build Health.
So Build Health started really in 2009, and it started as me volunteering full-time with Partners in Health in Haiti with the late Dr. Paul Farmer, who died last year, unfortunately. I went to Haiti with Paul in early 2009, and I had traveled a lot, and I was blown away by and shocked by the poverty and inequity in Haiti. And I was trying to figure out a way to plug in. And I had stepped back from Shamit. Tom Gomat, who's very involved with YouthBuild, had taken over as CEO at Shamit and was doing a great job. And I was trying to figure out what was next for me. And I ended up helping Partners in Health design a 100-bed community hospital. And we were just about to break ground in January of 2010, and the earthquake struck. The earthquake that killed between 300,000 and 400,000 Haitians and destroyed 70 to 80% of the hospitals in the country. So Partners in Health and Paul Farmer told myself and Dr. David Walton, who's the co-founder of BHI, to go build the biggest hospital we could as fast as we could, and it wasn't going to be a 100-bed community hospital. Now it was going to be a 300 to 400-bed teaching hospital. And we did that over the next 2.5 years, but we did it with incredible support, especially from the New England construction community. And we had hundreds of volunteers through the trade unions, through many subcontractors, Shawmut, Suffolk, many companies. And we were able to build a hospital which today, even though Haiti is in another desperate situation, is still functioning and turning out, not only treating thousands of patients, but turning out hundreds of doctors, nurses, and other technicians. And we realized from that effort that we learned a lot. We made a ton of mistakes, and we decided that we could not only do this, but do it better. And that's really how Build Health came together.
Mm. And now you do work across multiple countries. I think I've seen Sub-Saharan Africa, Haiti, building hospitals in developing nations where they don't have access to healthcare.
Yes. Today we're in between our oxygen work, which is a result of COVID, and doing hospital work, design, build. We have a large architecture and engineering practice, which is 100% in-house. We are in almost 40 countries. The majority are in Sub-Saharan Africa. Haiti is still, we're very active in Haiti. We have 5 ongoing building projects, including a state-of-the-art diagnostic center at the original teaching hospital that we're building. We've been there continuously now for 12 years, building buildings.
Beautiful. I want to ask you a little more about that, but let's close the loop, because you two gentlemen just said, I don't see why we haven't heard from Shawmut and Suffolk, and Regina from Shawmut just showed up. She says she's here, so we're hoping that Regina is at least going to get a couple of seats to Brickle to support YouthBuild Boston. So if you can pull that off, Miss Oliveri, that would be fantastic. Talk to the folks at Shawmut, and let's get some of their bodies there too. Right now we've got DPR, we have Delbrook, we have another company that I'm not sure of. We have Citywide Construction. Pete Walsh just chimed in. He says they will be there. Great work, guys. So ask and we shall receive. Shawmut, you're here. I'll let you take care of it from there, Regina. Thank you. Sean, thanks for working on it. Pete, thanks for chiming in too. Jim, you told me a pretty compelling story, and I should probably say this. If you're finding these stories here interesting, please go back and listen to the episode with Brian, where he talks extensively about YouthBuild, and a young woman, Anisha Simpson, and hear her story as well. She has an amazing story, and that's all because of YouthBuild Boston. So please go back and listen to those episodes, and please go back to Jim's episode and hear the full story. I loved hearing the origin story of Shawmut. That was great. And some amazing things from Build Health. And one thing that really stuck out for me, and if you don't mind repeating it for the folks that heard it before, the story that you told about when you were first going to head down to Haiti, and I believe it was the earthquake that was going on, you were getting ready to go on a plane, and they asked you to go to Home Depot.
Yes. This was a couple days after the earthquake, and with some help from some Shawmut people and a number of local Haitian Americans, we had organized shipping literally tons of medical supplies to Fort Lauderdale, and we were organizing cargo planes to fly to Haiti. And at this point in Haiti, there was no air control. It was before the Marines and the airborne, the U.S. Army had come to support Haiti, and it was absolute chaos. but I got a call saying, can you go to Home Depot and get the following list of tools? And it was hacksaws and chisels and hammers. And I said, sure, what's all this for? Should I be getting levels? Should I be, getting cordless drills?
Throws. Yeah.
No, this was for amputations at the General Hospital in Port-au-Prince, which had been an 800-bed hospital before the earthquake. And when I got there were only a couple doctors. There was an American doctor who and his wife, who was an orthopedic surgeon, and her father. They were both French. And they were doing surgery by headlamp. And, it unfortunately took us a week to get generators and get temporary ORs set up. But they did amazing things with very crude construction tools and performed a lot of life-saving surgery.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, wasn't some of it even set up outside, I want to say?
Yeah, when I got there, there were about 1,400 people, patients, lying in the courtyard in various states of acute trauma, and many of them had terrible crushing injuries. It was a scene and a couple weeks I will never forget, but it really shaped. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot of how to work in Haiti and how to circumnavigate the blockades that you see in a country that has very little resources. The issue in Haiti isn't lack of will, lack of education. There are lots of very good doctors in Haiti. It's a lack of resources, a lack of government, and a lack of democracy, honestly.
So I'm going to reset things a little bit, just in case there's new folks coming into the live. So far, we've heard from Brian McPherson about the work at YouthBuild Boston. They have a networking event coming up, Brickle. A number of people have signed up already. We gave a long list of BR plus A, MIT, Boston Properties, all these folks that are already coming, a number of people that have signed on tonight. So if you want to support them, please hop on in the comments and say your name, your company, and that you'll head over to Brickle. If you're interested in supporting Build Health International, please do the same thing, name, company, and what you can provide. I do see Stephanie Crepeau here from Bond Brothers. She had reached out when she saw one of these posts on LinkedIn. She's working at a few of the local hospitals, and she has a couple jobs coming up, and she believes she's going to be able to go ahead and provide at least as a whole. She's like, well, I have this kitchen that's coming out, and I remember our conversation, and you talking about, hey, if they have a kitchen and they're taking it out, we'll take the cabinets, we'll take the sinks, we'll take everything. So Stephanie and Bond are working on that, and she's here and she's supporting that. She says we're doing great work. No, you're doing great work. I'm not doing anything. And then
We'd love to talk to you, Stephanie.
fantastic. I'm going to make that. We got Skip Kramer for Atlantic Air. They're going to be at the Brickle tournament. I'll read Amber and Chris's response. Chris has some PPE, power tools, skill saws, screw guns, hammer drills, and mixers. Chris McPherson, Central Ceilings.
Yay, Chris. My man,
I
Chris.
just want to add that Chris sent a number of people to Haiti. We would not have, and taught our Haitian team how to do acoustical ceiling.
That's amazing.
And did a fantastic job. And those guys are still doing it 10, 12 years later. So thank you, Central Ceilings.
Chris is Central's a supporter of the show. I believe they are supporters
big supporter of YouthBuild Boston. Thanks, Chris, for all you do.
Chris, did you see the Central mug? And that's what put you over the top to donate. But yeah, that is fantastic. We love to hear that. And when I get a minute, once we start chatting, I'd like to read Amber's comment. She's got a pretty nice comment here as well. So, Jim, what are some of the things that people could donate, and actually, one more thing. How many hospitals have you built so far?
We
Approximately.
we're in the 150 project range. We don't know the exact number of beds. Many of our projects have been smaller buildings, add-ons, renovations of hospitals. But the two largest functioning hospitals in Haiti are hospitals we built, and we're building a huge maternal center of excellence in Sierra Leone right now for Partners in Health, which we're really excited about. Sierra Leone in West Africa has the dubious distinction of the highest maternal mortality rate in the world, although Afghanistan may come back in that, unfortunately. But 1 in 17 women are in danger of dying in childbirth in Sierra Leone. And that's a grim and horrifying statistic for...
Yeah, I don't really know what to say to that. That's obviously it's tragic, and it's really probably simple things that can prevent that.
Yep.
And that's what's so amazing, which is what you're doing right now can prevent terrible things like that by reaching out and supporting and supplying with these types of things. And the reason I asked about how many hospitals, because I think I remember on one of our prior calls where you said almost all of the doors and frames in every hospital are used doors and frames.
Yes, for many years, the New England Carpenters Union would take used doors we would collect, and they'd have the apprentices, as part of a training, put Dutchmen in, patch them, get them all set. We have since shifted to doing that locally, both in Africa and in Haiti. But we still do almost all the doors. We'll send used flush doors and buy new hollow metal frames and put them into masonry openings. Right now we have a lot of 3070 doors, but we're always looking for oversized doors. Norwood Hospital just gave us a donation of lead line doors and also 4-foot doors, which are extremely hard for us to get. Steel doors are always valuable.
Yeah, Jim and I were talking, and I reached out to Gary from Nelco, and he messaged back a couple days later. I need to reach out to him again, but if folks are dealing with Nelco, a lot of their lead line stuff, if they're doing demo, that's things that Build Health could really use. I want to let people know. So Stephanie chimed in, lots of great cabinets, couple sinks,
Yeah. Any
wooden
stainless
frames,
steel.
hollow metal door frames, some with side lights.
Right.
She's thanking Central. Chris was sold on all the organizations. And I just want to take a minute to say thank you. The fact, usually you do a live, and if 4 people watch you, you're doing well. And I was perfectly willing to have it be 4 people, and then we take the audio and put it on a podcast. But thanks to everybody that's coming in here. It's great. I'm watching the numbers go up and down with Mike over there. Andy Colometta from Sterling. They're in to donate doors, hollow metal frames, cabinets, and new PPE. I know Andy does a lot of work at Emerson Hospital. So Andy, if you can be on the lookout for some wide doors, maybe if you and Nathan and the team over there could do that, that would be huge. I know Andy tries to give back quite a bit. And Emily Sheedy also, after Delbrook donating, she has to say, Chris, you're awesome. So I agree.
Just on PPE, and we are always looking for hard hats, safety vests, gloves. They can even be used. That doesn't matter. We're working in countries where there is no PPE for construction workers and no workman's comp typically. So safety is a really important issue for us. Safety glasses, any of that is extremely helpful.
Okay. So could we talk about the, Sterling's in for Brickle Ball as well, too. That's
All right.
a good deal. Could you tell people what's the mechanism here if they do want to donate? like how should they go about that? It's a little
Yep.
easier than you would think.
Yep. All they need to do is call our office or email us, and we can at info@buildhealthinternational.org, and we will have somebody, Zach or Oliver, who handle donations for us, get right back to you. We will send a truck to your job site. We'll load it. We'll give you a donation letter so you can make it tax deductible. And if there's any concerns, sometimes, especially from the hospitals, when they donate equipment, there's concerns about liability. We'll give you an indemnification form that releases you and your customer of any liability.
That's great. And you guys show up with a box truck. So doing the demo, you want to leave the stuff on the loading dock. They come, put
Yep.
it in the box truck, take it away. It's seamless. I've also heard, and I don't want to promise something you can't do, but here we go. I heard in some cases, someone from Build Health will sometimes come out prior to the demo and take
Yes.
a look at, walk the job with you and say, okay, we'll take this, we'll take all these, blah, 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 blah.
We'll tag it, whatever you need us to do. We'll work with your
Demo contractor.
your demo contractor. And a number of the Boston demo contractors have been very generous to us. And the one other thing I failed to mention, and I will get a lot of grief if I don't mention it, is switchgear. Right now, there are a lot of companies that are buying or temporary or used switchgear as a placeholder because switchgear is often taking over a year to get right now. Any used switchgear, commercial switchgear, is very valuable to us. About 8 months ago, we had a longtime Shawmut super, Jack Cameron, who I just want to give a shout out to, called us up and said he had a temporary electrical service in a trailer from a job that had been there for 3 years and donated it. We picked it up, and that is now getting installed in Haiti and saved us $45,000.
Wow.
We refurbished it, retested the breakers, recertified them, and we have a shop that where we do that, and any of that is really helpful.
Okay. So the Gaston guys reached out to me prior to this, and they were going to try and hop on. So Gaston, if you're listening, even if you're not on right now, I think we're going to, we'll see if we can chat, and if you can help us on that front. I know you were looking for wire pullers
Yep.
as well.
Any tools and equipment would be great.
Great. Yeah, you made a point about a lot of people are transitioning to battery-operated tools. And if you're not using your corded tools anymore, Build Health would love to have them.
Yep.
Stephanie had commented. She said, Stephanie from Bond, she says, I hope he has a big truck. And then is Mike Vasquez Garcia, is that one of your guys? Oh, no, Miguel.
Oh, Miguel, yes.
Miguel Vasquez, okay.
Yes, he's one of our general supers in Haiti.
He says we can send the truck many times if we need to. So.
And we'll rent trucks.
Yeah, and Andy from Sterling says we can send vests and hard hats.
Great.
So
Thank you, Andy.
That's huge need. So let's talk about the list. Actually, before I get to the list, I want to talk about the fact that how much of a win-win-win we're talking about here. We have a problem in Massachusetts with the landfills. We had John Fisher from the DEP on here, and he talked, and I think the dates were 2030, that the last landfill in Massachusetts is full, and at that point we are going to be trucking our C&D waste out of state. A lot of it's going to be on a train, some of it's going to be on trucks, but either way, that's not really what we want to be doing. Never mind, it's just a shame to waste this stuff. So we're going to be able to take stuff that we can prevent from going in a landfill, help our industry be more sustainable, help a place that needs it, maybe even save a couple bucks, because if you just, it's one less 30-yard dumpster or two less 30-yard dumpsters that you don't need now, that it's seamless because Build Health can come do a pickup and they'll give you a tax-deductible donation and indemnity. So no reason not to do this. It's an easy phone call to make. I know of one other company, I believe it was Columbia, was doing some of
Yep,
it, and they
Columbia's.
commented about how easy and seamless it was to work with Build Health to get the stuff taken out. So don't feel like, I've got all this stuff to do. The last thing is going to be a hassle. It's not going to be a hassle. It will be a win. And even if it is a hassle, it's a win if you're changing people's lives. So please, let's do that. So here's what we're looking for. Just in case, Jim mentioned the PPE, any of the hand tools, power tools. We're talking grinders, sawzalls, drills, impact drivers, rigging, chain fall, straps, shackles, come-alongs, fall protections inspected. Jim was talking about the focus on safety, the lanyards, retractables, power cords. Jim made a good point about a couple things. You have scaffolding that's all banged up and you're going to take it out of service, or you're taking a cord and you're cutting the plug off of it. Build Health has access to labor. That's not a problem. It's the materials that they can't have access to. So they're very happy to take that scaffolding, grind it, paint it, put it back in service, put a new plug on. If the ground plug is missing, they'll put a new plug on it. They're happy to do that. And you have to think about it this way, folks. We could be all in high and mighty and say, well, that's not, a perfect piece of staging or whatever, and that's not safe to go back out there. But this is a question of, we have no scaffolding, or we have scaffolding that we fix up, or a plug that we fix up. So if you have cords going in dumpsters, scaffolding going in dumpsters, we want that from you. Sorry, let me check back in.
Plywood from barriers.
And we're actually looking at a way where we can donate some scaffolding to you as well.
Thank you.
I'm having a conversation with my accountants this week to see how we can break up pieces of our scaffolding and donate to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So Brian was talking about how they were looking at how much scaffolding they had, and maybe do we put it in storage, this and that. And we thought, or Brian thought it would be a good use. Miguel also chimed in ladders. We need ladders along to go with that scaffolding. And then there's some kind of always needs. So these are the things that are just kind of constant needs, the doors and frames, that type of stuff. And then occasionally there is project-specific needs. So some project-specific needs right now are around concrete. So coring drills, chipping and demo hammers, vibrators, mixers, survey equipment, gang boxes, and then there's the electrical stuff, wire pullers, and then plate compactors and light towers. So if you guys have light towers, you're talking gas-powered, kind of?
Either or.
Either or, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody has that would be great. So I'm ready to wrap it here. Eric Sanford says he loves this. Thanks, Eric. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate everybody's support. Again, anybody else wants to chime in right now with the comments on they want to come to the pickleball tournament, you want to donate, please go ahead and put that in the comments. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to Brian. Thanks to Jim for the work that they're doing, the time that they're willing to take to drive here, to focus forward, for being willing to come up from Providence to make this happen. I guarantee you this could not have been pulled off without them. I don't have the technical expertise, and never mind with the level of quality that we're talking here. It's amazing. And for folks that watch my content always and sometimes are bitching about my sound quality, that's when I'm doing it by myself. And when you're like, hey, your sound quality is much better, that's because Focus Forward helps me. So anytime you're seeing that A+ product, it is because of them. Thanks again to everybody who donated, especially to Central Ceilings. I mean, I know firsthand that they have supported this show, and both the gentlemen and their organizations on both sides, and Skip and Andy and Stephanie and Regina and everybody that showed up today. I appreciate you. And I actually look forward to seeing everybody at Brickleball. I look like we got at least, probably about 20 people that I know are going to be there, and it should be fun. So thanks for coming. Thanks for Focus Forward. Anybody else have any question? Drop it in. And Brickleball is pickleball. It's a pickleball tournament. I've got a question that came in that asked that. Pickleball is going to be a tournament, so if you like to play pickleball, there's 3 or 4 teams left if you want to sign up a team. If you just want to go hang out with this going on, it is September 22nd, 4 to 6:45. Probably should have said that, right? Good man. Neil and Media, are you going to be there September 22nd? So September 22nd, 4 to 6:45.
Yep.
Where's it going to be located?
65 C Street in the South End at PKL.
South Boston?
South Boston, yep.
South Boston. So you're from Boston. South End and South Boston. Come on. And then Delbrook will sponsor a team. So awesome. We would love it. Sean H says the audio was great tonight. Good job to you guys. Mike Yanovich says amazing stuff. He's going to be there as well. So this is great. I'm honored that as many people showed up. So appreciate it. Take care. Please spread this with your friends. Encourage them to join, your coworkers to join. Go back to your company, see if there's a way you can support Build Health. I'll let you know who wins the 2 prizes. And please ask them to listen to the audio on the podcast and share and help in any way they can. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Omar.
Thank you.